Good morning and welcome everyone. Today is April 4th, 2022. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd like to call this meeting of the Logan County Commissioners to order. Please rise for your place.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Welcome. I have no request for any citizens to be heard this morning. With that, we'll move on to item 4, consideration of possible action on minutes of March 31st, 2022.
Move to approve the minutes.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Item 5, we've been asked to table this as the plat owner is not ready for this yet. So we'll table this till our next meeting or until he brings it back. Item 6, consideration and possible action on resolution proclaiming the week of April 10th through 16th, 2022 as National Telecommuter Week in honor of the men and women who keep our region's citizens and emergency responders safe. I often wondered why we call this Telecommunicators Week, because I thought that was somebody that worked from home. But anyway, here's our resolution. Would you like to read this? Or? If you would.
Resolution. Whereas in 1991, congressional resolution named the second full week of April of every year National Telecommunicator Week, and whereas emergencies can occur at any time or any place and require the assistance of police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas 911 is the hotline for help for the people in emergency situations, and the 911 call taker's voice is the first assurance that help is on the way. And whereas 911 professionals regularly meet the challenges of extremely stressful situations and calmness and efficiency. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of these emergency responders is dependent upon the quality of and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the 911 communication center. And whereas public safety dispatchers are the heart of public safety, providing assistance before any other emergency services arrive on scene. And whereas public safety dispatchers are a vital link for our emergency responders by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. Whereas public safety dispatchers contribute substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of injuries and illnesses on a daily basis. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during their performance of his or her daily jobs. Now therefore, be it resolved that the County of Logan County, Oklahoma declares the week of April 10th through 16th, 2022 to be the National Telecommunicator Week in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our region's citizens and emergency responders safe.
I move we approve the resolution.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve said resolution. Any further discussion? Sheriff, we really appreciate your folks who do that job for us over there.
Appreciate you recognizing me.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Let's see, item 7, consideration possible action concerning a countywide burn ban, including discussion of local fire departments implementing a countywide notification requirement of intent to burn when not under burn ban. Stephen, I'd like for you to chat with us a little bit about that if you got a minute.
Yeah, on the burn ban side, we're not gonna meet the
down South County before they want to burn their trash.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They should probably call their fire department.
I think a lot of them, like the other fire departments, I think a lot of them make the people call, like, you know, Guthrie's dispatch, since Guthrie dispatches for majority of the fire departments, just so they have a record of it on file in case somebody calls driving down the road and says, hey, there's a fire out here, and they're like, no, it's a controlled burn, they called it in, type deal. So,
Is it a requirement they have to do that?
I don't know if it is or not.
No, it's not.
I mean, I can't see.
Not from the county, it's not.
I can't see where the fire departments would have the authority to make rules. You know?
Yeah, that's.
But
I think it's a
it is
courtesy
handy if
thing.
people do call them in.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I think
Yeah.
they should.
It's like we have people, you know, that call our dispatch at the county and that, you know, say that they're gonna burn just as a courtesy call, and then I think our dispatchers end up transferring them to Guthrie or, you know, Edmond, who, whatever fire district dispatches for them, just to let them know.
So is Guthrie still a dispatch for Crescent?
Mm-hmm.
So if Crescent people are gonna burn, they need to call who?
Guthrie dispatch.
Guthrie PD. So is that on the webpage, Martin?
The Facebook site, no. Other than, again, one of, 13 fire departments posted that, and
Right.
it's kind of a confusing item for other people in the county.
Right, I agree. It would be nice if we could get it on there. where-
If we just had one group that was dispatching for the entire county, it wouldn't be such a confusing item. Is kind of where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
All right. And maybe, you're right, Monty, I think we should have Steve maybe try and clarify the requirement for that as a county policy, if we want to have one.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So, no burn ban, so no action on that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 8. Consideration and possible action on appointing a member to Free Fair Board representing District 1 to fill vacant seat for remaining term of Brooke Fields. Ms. Fields, do we have applications?
Yeah, I emailed them out. I just have my single copy.
Okay, I missed them. Let's see.
I read on both good applicants. Gina Davis is just kind of doing it as a favor, said she had served for a year, is that right? But she really didn't want it.
That's my understanding. I mean, Ms. Davis has, you know, served before.
Yeah.
And she came off of it, right? But again, would step up if we asked her to help. So, Mr. Charlie Ward's the other one.
Please do not let on that aircraft.
Minister Rancher.
I don't know either one, so your district, Mervin, I'll support whatever you want to do.
Second.
So, gentlemen, what I would like to do is table this and call each one of these two applicants and talk to them, if you don't mind.
Not a problem.
And then we can come back and readdress it at our next meeting.
Not a problem.
Okay. Item 9 is tabled. Item 10, consideration and possible action on resolution appointing requisitioning officers for various accounts. Oh, hang on. 9, I broke the wrong table. Okay, 9, consideration and possible action concerning Logan County Red Cross vaccination policy for local volunteers. Stephen, you stirred this mess up again on social media, where I got to see that.
So-
You'll come up here, please, sir? I got something for you. So my understanding is we've had around 7 local volunteers in Logan County that has resigned or quit because of this policy. What I've handed out to you gentlemen is a letter that I got from Alice Townsend, who is the Regional Chief Executive Officer of the American Red Cross of Oklahoma. Basically, it says a whole bunch of stuff about how they're, how they believe that safety of everybody is their responsibility. But there's one line there that I've highlighted that I think is critical to this discussion. It says, currently, we do not require volunteers to be vaccinated for in-person activities, but all unvaccinated volunteers must wear a mask while volunteering in person, which means that they don't require vaccinated people to wear a mask when volunteering in person. And it seems to be discriminatory to me, because sometimes vaccinations don't work. People can carry the disease. I guess we're talking about COVID-19 because they don't specify. And what other vaccinations do they require of volunteers other than this one? I doubt any. I don't think so. It doesn't say that. Because, I mean, is there a vaccination for Ebola? You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know a mask won't help if you've got Ebola, it's spreading it, you know, anyway. So what we talked about previously, Stephen, was to work up a resolution for our state AG, Attorney General, to bring suit against the Red Cross for this policy because they're costing us volunteers.
Gotcha. Yeah, what started all this was over during our, burn bans, and we had large wildfires
Right,
and stuff.
right.
So whenever I contacted the Red Cross for the fire departments, to bring them food, drink, snacks, and all that stuff out there, they said that Logan County didn't have any volunteers. And they didn't have anybody in Logan County, since they didn't have any volunteers, that had a purchase card, to go get supplies and all that stuff to bring it out to the scene. And so that our closest volunteers, I was told, was, Garfield, Pink, surrounding counties, I
Right.
guess. And so then that was talking to I don't know if he's like a regional coordinator, but I guess he's out of Tulsa area that handles the Logan County volunteers. And he said, if you know of anybody that wants to volunteer, so we can build up our volunteer base, we're accepting volunteer applications, so.
Right. So one of the things that came of this last meeting, while you were out going to school, and congratulations on getting through that.
Oh, thank you.
Was our county health department was here, and they said that they would be happy to entertain, to try and get volunteers to work through the county health department to do that same thing.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Yeah.
to help with that, and they're gonna reach out to you and do that. If we don't have any Red Cross volunteers in Logan County, if they've all quit because of this policy.
And
which
I
it
don't know
sounds-
if they have or not.
Which it sounds like they have. I mean, I understand.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was never, directly told why they, resigned, quit, retired, so.
Right.
So, but that's what started all of it was, because they said, if you know of anybody that wants to volunteer in Logan County, that wants to go through the training to be
Right.
able to go out and make the purchases to bring stuff out to scenes.
Right.
So,
So without bringing a specific person's name into this, that's what we were told, is that's why people quit,
Okay.
because of this policy, right?
yeah,
So-
I guess, yeah.
Is Red Cross not a private entity? I mean, how can we tell a private entity what to do?
Are they a 501c3?
I don't know, that's why
I
I'm
don't know.
asking.
I think that would be up to,
The only thing I do is I just call them whenever, the fire department's requesting. That's the only thing that I deal with, or if we have a structure fire and people need, temporary housing in a hotel or motel, that's whenever I call them and let them know what we got, and then they send out their volunteers.
When you donate to the Red Cross, is that a tax deductible donation?
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe it probably is. And so that would say that they're a nonprofit, which, they're supposed to be some sort of support. So, yeah, there's all sorts of nonprofits that, have some goofy requirements. And, but this one requirement has cost us like 7 volunteers.
And a delayed response
Right.
time because on the Mulhall fire
Right.
that we just had, it took them over 2 hours to bring stuff out there coming from Enid. So.
Right.
I was thinking Miller EMS is the one that brought it anyway.
No, they just brought their own little stuff that they bought, The actual Red Cross is the one that brought the Brahms hamburgers from Enid.
Yeah, they brought some more out after.
Yeah.
I think maybe, can we not draft a letter and send it to them and tell them our concerns, we can't get no volunteers because of the mask?
Be happy to do that. So this lady here said, be free to contact her if we have any questions or like any additional information. I'm not sure I want any additional information other than, when they think they might lift this requirement, because the pandemic's pretty much been over with for a while. Nobody's officially announced that, but, I mean, how many people have been sick in Logan County over COVID this last week? Can't find out now.
And another example is we had a trailer, like an RV trailer, catch on fire that somebody lived in over off of near Pine and Seward area. And anyway, it took the closest Red Cross volunteer was coming from Purcell to help get them basic necessities. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, Bonnie, I think that's a good idea. We can draft a letter out, maybe get Steve to help us with some of these issues, some of these local fires and the response time issues that we're having because of this. And ask them when they're going to lift this requirement, because it needs to be gone, needs to go away, so we can get more volunteers through the Red Cross.
yeah.
I mean, they're Logan County volunteers. I know they volunteer to work with the Red Cross, but they're members of our county. They're our constituents. And if they don't want to serve because somebody's either going to make them take a shot or wear a mask, then I can understand that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna draft up a letter and.
I think it's what we've been talking about, yes, sir. You all right with that?
Yeah, send it.
Yeah, Cody, you okay?
Yes.
All right. And that's what we'll do. We'll try and have something ready for you by the next meeting.
I have nothing on 10 and 11.
All right then. Item 12, consideration of possible action on consent agenda.
The only thing on the consent agenda that we have is cash funds.
Let's see. We want to approve those.
Yeah.
There's one I like.
Only if they're all going to District 3.
There's two there.
There you go.
Pretty dark out there.
Crazy world we live in.
Storms are brewing.
If you're gonna have something like that, make it across the board, don't. If you're unvaccinated,
Go grab sorry, go put seatbelt on.
right?
Well, so what if you've already had COVID and you've got antibodies?
I understand. I'm glad they got a vaccination. People want to take it, take it. The ones that don't.
Right.
I'm down.
Now they got a pill for it.
They got a pill for everything.
Pill for it?
Huh?
A one-time pill or?
It's to help reduce the effects and help,
I think they call it Ivalac.
There's only 5 booster pills that's required
Yeah,
after.
yeah. Let's say there's 85.
Pfizer's the one that.
You gotta
came
take
up
a
with it.
booster pill every 2 months,
Yeah,
under $1,000 a pill. That's just,
yeah. What company, Cody?
Pfizer.
Excited for me to meet tomorrow.
I can't remember the name of
Somebody else that
it.
claimed J.G. Wentworth down there. It's my money, no one. J.G. Wentworth.
Tell me all the well is dry.
Nope. We dug a new well.
The new accounts on the division on the ARPA menu. And I got my side done this morning early. Sherry's got to do them all and balance. So those things will be available,
It's called Paxlovid.
you know, tomorrow, Wednesday.
Cool.
It's like potato stuff.
It just missed this area. Our house got hammered.
Sounds like it's still here.
Well, this spot right here is kind of donut hole, if you will.
Yeah, this is no fly zone here. It's particular.
You know, the weather map follows you.
Yeah. It's up
I
there.
just
Yeah,
have
thanks,
some
Rob.
other
What, man?
We will need to designate all receiving and requisition dollars and accounts.
Okay.
We got more storms coming in around 11, don't we?
Uh-huh.
Huh?
Yeah, it's supposed to rain on and off all day
For the
today.
ARPA fund, for the general government part,
Yeah.
but each of you for your
It went
district
south
part,
of
the
us just a little
sheriff,
bit. So what
I'll
they're
put
saying
together and
is,
send out a
because I
memo.
watch,
Okay.
And do you think
Does that have
that,
to be approved by the board?
yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna have to have a special meeting tomorrow?
Probably get a good amount of rain.
Emergency meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, emergency, exactly.
And do you think we could ask Sarah to serve as receiving for
I just did.
those general government accounts?
Molly said we just did, and she said yes.
Okay, then I'll write that one.
Yes.
That's one of the things I didn't do. Thank you, sir.
Like how smooth this works. I love it. Okay, $327. County highway funds. That's all consent, gentlemen.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda item.
I will second.
Have a motion and a second to approve consent. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 13, comments, announcements, questions by the Board of County Commissioners or other county officers and department heads. Stephen,
Nothing.
just fresh back, new,
Yeah.
and nothing to say.
Nothing.
You got it all?
Process it all.
It's hard to do.
I'll give it there too.
Got it.
I don't have nothing.
All right, thank you, Sheriff. Ma'am?
No.
Molly, no?
Nothing.
All right, with that, we'll call item 14, consideration possible action on adjournment.
I'll move.
Second.
Have a motion to second to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We're adjourned.